Good morning, everybody. Is it morning? 12:47. I suppose it's one of those kind of morning things, isn't it? Early afternoon. Who knows? Anyway, how are we all? Are we as feeling fresh like daisies as me? Probably not. I had some beers yesterday, so I might not be 100% today, but we'll see what we can get done. Right, so what are we doing again? Well, we're looking at cross-platform GUI frameworks, and we're trying iced, and this is the spreadsheet that we've been making notes on. I'm just going to paste a link to that in the chat. There we go. And we're also trying to create a tabbed document example, which is currently looking like this. The details about what the requirements are for this are in a link which you can find in the video description. But basically it's just like toolbar. You can open documents, and each tab shows a document. We can display image documents, and we can display text documents. And yesterday I did a little bit more work on this, so now you can create new documents. It's shocking. We can create new ones. This is what the user interface looks like. I have not styled it yet. We're going to do that today. The idea is you can put a name in, test, you can pick a directory, yay, and then you can pick text and click OK, and then the tab changes to be test. Okay, and that's as far as I got yesterday. I haven't checked this any further, so we're going to check this for bugs now and see what happens. So the idea is you should be able to create multiple new tabs, and start to fill them out, and then you should be able to switch back to one of them and it shouldn't lose the state, and that seems to be the case. Oh, I accidentally pressed close on one of them. Never mind, let's open another one. Hey, what? Wait a second. Oh, I have this issue with the tabs at the moment. The new ones don't appear on the right. They just fill in old slot map locations. So perhaps we can fix that as well today. Because we need to be using we either need to be storing the indexes, the insertion order, or we need to be using a collection that retains its order. Slot map doesn't. It leaves holes when you take something out of it, and then when you put something in it, it fills the hole, which isn't the behavior we want. That is, when you call push on it, it puts it somewhere in the middle. Maybe there's another way of doing it, but I don't think it retains its order, so we can have a look at it. Test 4 perhaps then. So now, yeah, we've got that. And let's pick a directory in one of them but not the other. And, that seems to work. And then perhaps on one of them we click text and the other one we pick image, switch between them. Everything seems fine there. Let's go OK again, and it creates a text file. Amazing. And if we were to look on the file system in the assets directory, you would see it creates files. Oh my god, it's amazing. And we can open one of those files and we see the content. Amazing. So, it works, but it's not pretty yet. So let's see what we can do. So we've got these new things here. And let me just make this one as well. I just want to make sure that it doesn't change the order here when I create this. So we've got test, new, test 3. So we expect to have test4.txt, and then test3.txt when I click this after picking this. And that is indeed the case. It doesn't create a new tab at the end and so on, because I added a replace method into my tabs, because one of the requirements is that the order of these things shouldn't change. Yeah. How does it work, you might ask? Well, let's delete these files. There we go. So the way it works is that on your toolbar, which is created somewhere in the view, we've got a new button, and it says, it emits a message, new document, and therefore the iced update method handles the toolbar message and delegates it to a message handler. And then this is supposed to return a task. And when you go new document, it calls method on new document, which creates a new tab of kind new. So previously we had home tab and we had document tab, and now we have new tab. In a previous stream I started adding new document into document itself, but that was incorrect, so I backed that out and did it properly like this. So now we've got a new tab implementation, which has a directory, a name, a kind, yeah, and then you can display it, and then you can pick text and image, and it creates messages and so on. So, but when you create one of these, it creates a new instance, and then it's got a view method, which the main app delegates to via the view tabs function. This one, it delegates to the view method, right? So then you end up getting called here. This ends up getting called, and then it creates a bunch of elements, and when you press OK, it sends a message out to create a document. This message gets wrapped obviously by the tab code into a tab kind message, and then that gets wrapped into a tab message, which then obviously needs to be handled by the update method. So if we get a tab message, we call on tab message, and then if it's a new tab message, and it's a new tab message, tab kind message, new tab message, there's too many messages, then it delegates that to the update method for the tab, which then ends up calling the update method here. It does, honestly. Yeah, and then that gets handled by this one, and then this returns an action with the name, the directory, and the kind, which then gets wrapped into a new tab action with the key, which is important, it turned out. And then this tab action is then handled by this, and then if it's a new tab action, then and it's of the type create document, then it takes the name, path, and the kind and calls create document along with the tab. And if you picked text, then it builds a path, adds .text onto the end of the name, adds the name to the end of the path, creates a new text document with the path, and previously we were calling text document new for opening documents, but now there's another method which is from path. So from path, and the new method just simply creates the file and then calls from path. Right? Then that gets added to the list of documents. Then you get a new document tab, but instead of adding the tab to the tab bar, we replace the tab. So we go tabs replace as opposed to push. So we replace the new tab with the tab key that we've got with a different type of tab, which should cause the old tab to be dropped. And then, once we've done that, we create a task which is the message that's returned by the new method here and held here, and this returns text document load, which then causes the document to be loaded asynchronously. That's how it works. But we haven't created the image one, and as you might have noticed, there's a to-do in here which is it this one? No, hold on, this one. There's this to do as well, validation. So currently I don't know what happens if you press OK without filling in all the things. It might go pear-shaped. I don't know. It's probably not a good idea trying to create an unnamed file in an unchosen directory. It'll probably panic, but you know, I don't know, let's find out, see what it does. Let's have a chuckle. New. Okay, panic. Okay, so this is why we need some validation. So it goes unwrap on a none. Yeah. Let's pull this out so we can see it. So we need to fix this. So there's probably a couple of ways we can do this. I believe ICE has support for having a method that makes the button enabled or disabled depending on the result of some logic. So in Vue we've got this on press, right? But apparently there's other methods that you can use instead of this. So if we go bool is valid and just set this to true, we sort of want to use this and then either make it have the message or make it send the message or not send the message, and make it enabled or not enabled. But I'm programming in the wrong language today, so we do this. Trying to remember which programming language you actually program in some days. Yeah. Too many years spent doing Java and C and all the other ones. It's all backwards. Right. Okay. Okay, so we've got to make this work. Right. What can we do then? So we've got on press, right? But using a closure to produce the method. So on press with. So on press maybe. This is the one we need. It's interesting that there's an on press and on press with and an on press maybe, but no on press maybe with. Anyway, moving on. So we go on press maybe. And then it says we want an optional message. So if we do this here and then extract that and go is valid message, or when valid message, or okay, or message, I don't know, what do we call this? It's a bit tricky. Message to emit when valid. That's quite a long name, isn't it, that? Which needs to be this, apparently. So we have to do some validation first. So perhaps we go if, I don't know, self.name. I mean, so at the moment self.name is like this. It's just a string. Let's just say if it's not empty. Not empty. And I don't know, self.kind is some, and self.date directory. What? Exists, maybe? Is that going to work for a non-chosen directory? Should we go isdir on it? I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know what the behavior of exists is, because you initialize a directory and it's just default, right? So it's what does that mean for a path buff? This method may be error prone. Let's just go with exists to start with. I don't know. So I suppose we'll just change this around. And put this like this. Something like that. So that's some basic validation. Let's see if it works. And our survey says new. I can't click it. Okay, so when does it become okay? So not yet, still not ready. We're good, I suppose. And then pick a folder, and now you can click it. Okay, it works. So we've got some validation. Sure. Okay. Okay, let's commit that, I suppose. What did we do? We added this bit of code and that. Yeah. Okay, fine. Add form validation. Sure. Then what else do we need to do? Who remembers? I don't remember. Oh yeah, we were going to try and fix this tab ordering thing so that if you close a tab and then open one, it opens on the right hand side. Instead of where the last one was closed. And then should we do that yet? No, let's finish the new thing. We've got to do the styling, haven't we? We'll come back to that one. Styling. Okay, so what does it look like again? New. It looks like this. So we kind of want a grid thing, I suppose. Like, let's try and make this suck less. So if we introduce a row here, but we want to repeat this and repeat the styling, so I don't really kind of want to do that. I'm going to make a method, form row. I suppose, which takes what? A collection of elements. Probably something like that, perhaps. Maybe. Elements. A slice of element with some random lifetime, and they're going to return new tab message, and we get back a single element that also returns new tab message, and then we just call row on it for now. I suppose. And then I guess we call into on it to make it happy. And then we've got to fix this. What's the problem with this? Oh, that's better. Now it's complaining about this. What do we have to call into on this? And then as slice? I don't know. Because we want, here we said we want a bunch of elements, and this isn't an element, this is a text. So do we have to go into on each of these? Don't know. Missing lifetime specifier. Well, I suppose we need to go. It's the same lifetime, I suppose. Yeah, and see, now we're into iced pain. The trait ban blah is not implemented for blah. Well, I don't know what we need here. Mismatch types. Expected reference element, but we got these. Right, we've got a slice. It'd probably be more useful if I put this here. So let's just see where it's failing now. Mismatch types. Expected text, found text input, right, because we're trying to put these in a vector. Do we have to go vec? Do you have to specify the type here so that the vec new and then go into here? And then use the turbo fish operator or something. Or is it? Because it doesn't know what type to coerce things into. How do you create vectors? Is it from? You know, I thought you could just use the macro to do it, but is it vec from? From raw parts? You know, how to create a vector with a bunch of elements without using the macro? Does it create it and then just push each one? Is that what the macro does? Who knows? Okay, let's not do that then. Let's do it a different way. This is painful as always. Let's extract this and go let foo is this. Right, and it says we've got a vector of text input and some other stuff, which is not right. What we actually want is a vector of some element. Do I really want a vector here? Will an array do? Some lifetime that gives us a new tab message. Do we have to go dot into on this one as well? And then can we inline this now? Maybe we just needed into on both of them, and that would have been it. Type mismatch. Okay. Do we want to own them? Should it be a vector really here? Take off the as slice. Maybe try this. Well, that works. There we go. Oh, painful, isn't it? Sure. Yes, but then the lint's going to complain about the... No, you see. I'm going to not do that. Right. So we've got a method where we can create a form row. So we can perhaps use this for each one of these things. And we have to go into on each one of these. You see, this is the thing with ice. This is... You're always having to go into on everything. I'm not really a fan of that. Not really a fan of that. Should we move the intos on to a separate line? These ones, I suppose, it might be more obvious if we did. Into. Look, how many lines in an ICE code base just contain the word into? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least so far. Right. Right. What happens now? Well, you know, we've got this form row, but we're not doing any styling on it. So, we want to sort of do some alignment-y thing with the elements in the row. Do they? Yeah, let's see what it looks like first and then go from there. GUI styling fun, right. It looks the same. Is it because I was supposed to use column somewhere? Yes. I think I'm supposed to be using a column here. And it needs to know which column we're using. There we go. Now it looks like this. So for some reason these ones are filling up the entire rest of it and these ones are becoming small. But that's not really what we want. We really want a grid. Let's see if we can learn how to make a grid. This is in the wrong place as well. Let's go back to that. Where was that? Where is it? So we're missing a label as well. That's what the problem was. That's supposed to be here, and probably you see. There probably needs to be a row here or something. Social media refugee, yeah. Yeah, welcome to my world. What? Into? Random into? Yes! Random into for the win. Do we need these intos now? Who knows? So we've got directory, and then we've got the two things on the right hand side, one of which is smallest, and then this one takes the rest of the space. But we're missing a label here. That's what the problem is. We're missing a label that says kind. Users don't use the word kind, they use the word type. Oh, and then of course, don't forget the into. Okay, let's run it again. Oh, no, type annotations needed. It doesn't know what it needs to convert it into, so let's take these intos off. You see, it's just not nice. Do we even need this into? Who thinks we need this into? It seems that we do need it. Okay, so new. Right, now it looks like that. Name, directory, type. Right. So this is, we're getting there, but no. No. What we need is something sane. Let me see if we can draw it. What we actually need. Let's save this as a new file. Yeah. Name the things. Streaming videos. Oh, what video are we on today? I don't know. Let's go today. I'll put this in the right place later. Sketch. Right. So what we need is something like this, where we have blah blah blah, and then the name box, and then blah blah blah, and then the directory box with the buttons over here that say dot dot dot. And what's important is that this space here is the same. At the moment we don't have that. We've got this going on where these don't align, right? And then we have the other one with, I don't know, the little drop down thing, I suppose. And then we have what, an OK button over here. OK. That's what we're trying to get, and this is what we've got, right? And we also don't really want to take up the whole width of the window. So probably we want it with a bit of space around it and maybe aligned. Like this space should be the same, or you know, the same as this space over here. It should be centered. Obviously my drawing's not really good, but you get the idea. That's what we're trying to do. So I need a label column and a value column, exactly. So I need some kind of grid thing, basically. And then underneath the grid, the OK button on a row that's right justified with some padding or something like that. Right. So I've never created a grid in Rust before, so I don't know. Is there a thing to let us do it? So let's see if we can find that out. So in the widget thing, there's a helpers. And these are the things that you can create, mostly. So I'm looking for like grid or something like that. We've got a span. What's a span? Creates a span of text. Okay, I don't know what that is. What's the difference between text and rich text? I don't know. Oh, you can put colouring in it, fine. Stack. How do we create it? Because okay, surely there must be a grid. There's pane grids, but they're different. A grid. Is there really no basic grid container? What's a stack? You see, what would be really nice right about now, would be on the iced documentation. It'd be nice to have widgets up here with a little picture of each one. so you know what you can do. Right, you know, grid. I mean, I can create a grid sort of thing myself, you know, where I have a add row, and I take the two things for the left and right, and then I store them, and at the end of it I spit out two columns with all the things that were given to it and manage all the state myself. Is that what we really have to do? I bet it is. Okay. So, you know, let's just do it. Form. And what? We pass it. Two things instead. And then at the end, do it. Form row. Okay, let's go grid. And call it grid row like this. And then two columns. We don't care about how many rows there are. Is this what we want? And then you need to give it exactly two things in each of these. I mean, or does the grid work out how many columns there is based on how many things there are? Don't really like it. Matrix. Is there a social media refugee says for matrix? Look for a matrix. No. Yeah, 10 minutes of work in the 90s. Yeah, I mean, it's true. No, so there's, you know, are there any other examples which have grids, and how do they do it? Where the grid is built dynamically, right? Do I really want to? I don't want to implement my own grid thing. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Let's just unfudge this and just do it the crap way. Let grid is. What do you have to do first? You have to do the columns probably. So we're going to go. I don't know. Let's go label column. This is crap. But I'm going to do it like this anyway because I really don't want to just write my own grid thing, and we'll just mark it down as a failure point that there is no, or we couldn't find some way of creating a nice grid. So we're just going to move these into here and just suck it up basically. and then because it's crap, right? You don't want to, when you're thinking about adding a new form row, you don't want to go to the label column and then add something to it. And no, you want to create the things as pairs and then add them to your grid, because now all the code is going to be really far away, and it's just no. And then, like, what is this, value column or something? Field column, I suppose, maybe, I don't know. No, you see, it's just rubbish. It's just rubbish. We're going to keep the intos because we don't know whether we need them. And then this one is special. You see, this is rubbish. This is utterly rubbish. Utterly rubbish. And then we go, what? Let grid is a row of the columns. Oh, why did it do that? Of label column and field column. And then why is there an error there? So, and then we've got this OK thing at the bottom, and we're going to say row. Is it a row? No, it's a column, isn't it? It's a column which starts with the grid, and then that. Let's just run that for now and see what happens. Except that there's a random error here. I don't know why widget is complaining about that now. No rules expect the token widget. Is it because... oh, there's a missing comma. Type annotations needed. Well, of course. Maybe we'll take off all the intos. Yay, let's try this. Type annotations needed. Okay. Just remove the intos. How about now? Right, and then we don't have this anymore. Goodbye. I'm sorry, form row. Your time was on this world was short. And we create our grid like this, and it's horrible because this is really far away from this, and this is really far away from this, and so on. And I don't like it. No, it sucks. But we're just going to do it. You know, we've got to get it working and then get it working well. We'll refactor it later if we want to. So now we've got these aligned, which is starting to look a little bit closer to what we actually want. But we've got some serious alignment issues. Nothing lines up. You see, right. And you see, I want a grid. I want a grid. I want a grid where each of the cells gets its height from its other neighbours, you know, all the other things on the same row. You know, because this column is like, all the elements in it aren't as tall as the elements here, so this column ends up being shorter than this one. But that's not what we want. No, it's rubbish. Is there really no grid? Is there really no grid? I'm looking for one, but I'm not seeing it. This pane grid is something completely different. Shade slice. What's it? I don't know what a stack is. A container that displays children on top of each other. Okay, I don't think that's what we want. You see, no, there's no grid. There's no grid. Well, yeah. Right. I'm just reading your messages. Page control, probably a tab control. Wait until you center it vertically. Yeah. So what we're going to have to do to make this, I don't know. I don't know. What are we supposed to do here? Do we order it the other way around? Do we create rows and then put them in a thing? I mean, I don't really want to go. I really don't want to do this, but you know, I could put a height on it. But the problem is, I don't know the height of all the other things. Right? I don't know the height of this. Right? So how am I supposed to pick a number that goes in this box if I don't know how big this is? Because we've not rendered it yet. And we don't have it yet. It's not even in scope yet. I'm just... I don't know what to do. Some sort of state struct, yeah. Yeah, I don't have... and I want each of the rows to be similarly sized as well, right? So that means they each need to know about all the other rows as well, so that they all have the same one, same size. Because I don't want to specify a height in pixels, because if you change the font, say, or you change some other part of the theme, which then makes the text container bigger than the height that you specified, it all goes completely pear-shaped, right? So this is why I'm having dilemmas about what to do next, because I can just see how it can fail in the future. If I just add height to each of these, it's no way to, it's not future-proof at all. Let's look at some other examples. Let's see if we can find an example which might do something useful. Visible bounds. What's this example about? It would be nice, you know, if the example had like a blah, 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 blah. Like, this example is for this. This example demonstrates this. Like, you see, I was talking about comments the other day in the stream, right? So there's a lint in here, which is this missing docs, right? But it's not applied to the examples where the documentation would be really, really useful. So what you end up with is garbage documentation in the framework, which frequently just describes the name of the method, and where you do actually want useful documentation in the examples, there's no documentation. It's just this missing docs thing is just a waste of time. That shouldn't be in the main code base, that lint. It should be on the examples. Every example should have that. Yes. Okay, that was quite ranty, that was. Okay, moving on. Look, see, this is like no documentation, no documentation, no documentation, where it would be useful. And then, you know, you look at like the widget library, which has got the lint on it, and that's just, you know, sets the style of the button. Style. Well, no. What? Really? I couldn't tell that from the name of the method. And the fact that it lives in the button file. Great, yeah. Useful bit of documentation. Not. Moving on. Moving on. Just be careful with your lints, devs, please. Just please. Use them appropriately. Close tabs to the right is what I'm trying to find. There we go. So visible bounds. I don't know what visible bounds means. The only way to find out really is what? To run it? Do I need visible bounds to do grids? Who knows? Yeah, Captain Obvious, isn't it? Social media refugee in the comments says, do. Captain Obvious wrote the doc. Yeah, like. Does this help? No. I don't know what that is trying to describe. No idea. Visible bounds of what? Tor, tooltip 2s. There's one called The Matrix. I mean, what is this going to do? You know, if there was just a screenshot of each of the examples in the repo, that would be really useful. Other GUI frameworks have screenshots of the examples. I think Cushy was one of those ones. Was it Cushy? I think it was. Great, it shows a matrix. No. That's not even how it's supposed to look like anyway. They're supposed to drop from the top. One of these frameworks has screenshots. It wasn't Cushy, it was a different one. But anyway, I digress. Cell size, yeah, it's got sizes. It's great. It's got a widget. Great. I don't care about that. You know, again here, there's no documentation on this example that tells you what this example is supposed to be describing or explaining. Right, we've got R1. Do we think this is going to be useful? I don't think it is. No. Styling, sure. Let's try this one. No, all of these are the... I don't think this is what we're after. Let's just have a quick look at it. I don't think there's a grid in it. No, it's just got text and buttons and all this kind of stuff. No. Pick list, multi-touch, modal. What's modal? This probably doesn't actually oh wait, hold on. Let's look for the view. Let's run this one just for shits and giggles. And see what it looks like. There's a modal thing, but it's got one thing and then a thing underneath it, and one thing and a thing underneath it. You know, I could sell my soul slightly and just do it like that, so I don't have to worry about a grid. But I kind of wanted a grid, you know. I kind of wanted a grid. In lieu of a grid, yeah. Okay, so there's no grid basically, is what it looks like. Fine. So, yeah, okay. No grid. Wait, not like that, is it? No grid. Oh, I drew an unhappy face, but you couldn't see it. It's behind my face. But I guess that doesn't really matter. There, let's move it up there. So yeah, we're not going to do that then. So instead of doing that, form sketch 2, we have to do something else. So yeah, so we'll do it the other way, which it will be net. I want green. Can we have green? Is that the green I was using before? Yeah. We'll go name, and then we'll have a box, and then we'll have a directory. And then we'll have a box. The box is too big. You know, and then we'll have, what's the other one? Type. With a check down box, and then an OK button. We'll sell our soul and just do this, because there's no grid. Yeah. You know, we've got a window, and then we've got some padding like we had before. Where's the orange I was using? I don't know, was it that one? Or was it this one? That's too pink. That one. You know, where these are equal. That's what we're going to do. There is an iced table crate. Yeah, there might be, but it'll lag behind the version of ice that I'm currently using, so that ain't going to work. Right, so I'm writing this inside of iced itself, right? In the hopes that this could serve, you know, I could potentially do a pull request to the ICE repo, which shows how you do this stuff, right? And therefore, if I was to do that, it couldn't have a dependency on a crate which uses a different version of iced. So I have to use the stuff that's in iced in order to do this. If I was doing it, you know, if I wasn't using bleeding edge iced, then I've got access to the other crates. But if yeah, if you want to use bleeding edge ice, which you do because it's 0.13 after all, which I was talking about in the stream yesterday, then you need to be on the bleeding edge really, and therefore you can't use any of the crates that use ice because they always lag behind. Which is why I was saying that I want a basic set of functionality within iced itself, so that you're not in this situation and that you don't have to rely on external crates which might be dropped by the maintainer of those crates at any given point in time. Right? Grids feel pretty basic stuff to me, like other GUI frameworks that I've used have had grids. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. So, no columns. So, we're going to do a column, but no. Just one of them, though. And we're going to put this here, I suppose. And then this one back here. And this one back here. I don't know, fields. We don't need this anymore. Fields column. Is this supposed to be here? Should it be here? Should it be underneath it? Is it going to be special? Do I need this? Because I've got some special handling for this. We want it to be right, justified, or something within the column. Let's just stick it all in here now. And let's just call it elements again. And just do this. No, running the wrong thing. This one. Let's have a quick catch up on the messages. Poke decks. I can see that needing a grid. Yeah, the Game of Life uses a grid, but it probably, to put an X there, it's going to use a fixed width and fixed height, right? So it's not going to resize the container or the elements of the grid based on the content of it. It's just going to use a fixed size one, same as that matrix one did. Yeah. Okay, so now it looks like this. I don't know why this doesn't fill the rest of it like these ones do. Like, kind of weird. So I think this one we need to put a spacing and say 5. So that there's a space between the text input and the button. Like this. And then this one we need to make it the full width. Pick list dot width. And then what? It's one of these length. Fill or something? No. Fill. I don't know what. It's kind of weird that there's like. The other ones apparently have fill by default, right? This one has fill by default. This one had fill by default. Why didn't this one have fill by default? Or why don't all of them not have fill by default? Where's the consistency? Like, because if you look at the code here, you can't tell how it's going to appear. And should I be explicit every single time? You know? Should I be doing this? right? So that at least my code is consistent, so that if the defaults in the framework change, then it doesn't break. You know, it looks the same now. We've got explicit fill. Let's run with that. These two are unnecessary because of the default, but this one is not unnecessary because there is a different default, but it's not apparent. Why? Why is a text input set to fill by default? Can we work it out? Look, it's filled by default. Why? Why? What other options are there instead of fill? Fill, shrink, fixed. Why isn't it shrink? Okay, so that one was fill. Let's just have a quick look at the other one, just for fun. So the pick list calls new, and this has got shrink by default. Why isn't this fill? Or why isn't the other one shrink? Like, because all the buttons, they're shrink by default, right? So why isn't everything shrink by default? I don't know. Just seems a bit weird. It's questionable. So yeah. So let's do a row here. Where we've got, is it a vertical space? And then this. Is it? No, should it be horizontal space? And then we have the width on that to be length fill, so that the button is right justified. Is this going to be a bit weird? I don't know. We've got an OK over here now. So we've got a column. We need to put some, is it spacing? Let's say it's just, this is not what I want. Let's say 10 here. And let's go column and put these in their own one so that the spacing applies to the columns. And then so that we can then go and let's say 5 between those things, right? And then do another column with these two. Is that right? Oh, I'm missing a number. You see, and this is why I want a grid, because I want, you know. Okay, let's run this and see what happens. Right, so we've got 5 spacing between name and name, and then we've got 10 between the bottom of name and the top of directory, and then we've got 5 between it. Right, so it looks a little bit better now. So now we've got this column here. Can you go... Okay, I don't know what to do here. Let's call this form. Oops. Like that is what I meant to do. And then we need to do something here, which is what? Do we create a row? Oh dear. With some horizontal space. The form. And some more horizontal space. I don't think that's really the way we're supposed to do this. I think we might do that. I'm supposed to be doing this a different way, where you use one of these. I don't know what's align, clip, push. I don't remember. Oops, daisy, I pressed the button there, that's the wrong one. Let's just see what it does. Okay, it's in the middle, right? I kind of want it. I want the ratios to be different. I want a small bit over here and the same size small bit here, and then I want this bit to take up more space. Right, so I thought there was a thing, I don't remember what it was, that let you choose, chose something like that. Let's see if we can find this. We've got spacing, width. It's not this. Is it on the container, do we think? Let's look at row again. I'm looking for the layout. No, that's the widget implementation. Let's look at these length things for a minute. I think there was a different length. It's fill portion, that's it. That's what we want. So let's go back to this and we'll go dot length, no, width, and then length. It's really strange doing width and then a length there. Or is it just me that feels that is wrong? I don't think length is the right word to use. I think this is misnamed. But because it's used everywhere now, it probably won't be changed. So we're going to go fill portion and we'll say 1. And we'll do 1 here as well. And now it's moaning. Why is it moaning? Is it? Oh, it's because I've got a comma here, right? And then this one needs to have something else on it. So if we say 8, right, and we've got 10%, 80%, 10%. Why not use percentages? You know, people can understand percentages. I don't know, but you know, if you add them up and then it doesn't equal 100, then is that incorrect? Because then, you know, it's a ratio of, if you didn't have this one, then it'd be 9, and I don't know, maybe there's reasons. Okay, so now it looks like that. Great. It's starting to look less sucky. I think perhaps 8 might not be any good. Let's go 6, 2, and 2. I want it so if you've got a long path, you can at least see a reasonable amount of the path. Like when I do this, I want to be able to see a reasonable amount of it. We can actually move that across as well. That's okay. Fine. Okay. Then what? Then we need to add some space or something to the whole lot. Do you do that by adding padding? Let's say 50 and see what happens. Okay. Okay, so I suppose we need to handle that as well. Can we specify a min width on this? Like, you know, it's not really valid to do that. And we probably want to specify a minimum window size of something like that. But then when this isn't visible, you know, we can't see the rest of the form now. We don't even know that there's the form is there because there's no indication to say that part of the form is missing. So that's not really any good. But it'll, you know, improve new tab form layout, I suppose is what we did, right? And then I guess we fix the other stuff as we go. Fine. So how do we fix that then? We've got the whole form, and can we specify like a min size? No. Does it need to be scrollable or something like this? Let's say where would you do it? Let's call this something. I don't know, is it a scrollable? I've never used a scrollable before, and let's give it something. And then what does scrollable do? Creates a scroll. There's actually documentation, amazing. Yeah, I mean, that's obvious. But what's a scrollable? Scrollable lets users navigate an endless amount of content with a scroll bar. I mean, maybe. Is it horizontal scrolling or vertical scrolling? How? How do you know if it's vertical scrolling or horizontal scrolling? Because we need both. Is there a way of setting a minimum size to it? Right. Oh, and there's a with direction. Direction has a default. Vertical by default. Okay. Social media refugee. Because of you, I'm going to work on UI stuff today. Yeah, sorry. Sorry. So you can specify with direction, and why would you need to validate it? What's the point of validation method? Oh, it's private. We don't care about that then. So you've got a content and you've got a direction. So is there both? Yes. Okay, so let's try that. With how do you do it? You've got new and then you've got with direction. Am I supposed to be calling scrollable with direction directly? Instead of using a helper with direction, and I guess we need a direction. Both. Why? Is there? Okay, let's see how other people use this. Where's this? Scrollable. What on earth is this? Oh my god. It's just too much. Like what? So it's got scrollable and then it's got some content in it. And then it goes dot direction. And then it does this. Okay, so I was wrong in trying to work it out like that. So oh look, there's a direction, and then they add something like that in it. And then let's have a look at this. I don't know. Is there not a default width for scroll bars? How about not doing it? Do we need to do any of these things? I don't know. Let's find out. What does it look like? Crash. Scrollable content must not fill its horizontal scrolling axis. What are you supposed to do about this if it does? Right? How is it doing this? Some form of documentation would be nice. So it's got a width, a margin, and some alignment. And what's this anchor about? Sets the anchor of a scroll bar. Oh yeah, that's really useful. What's an anchor? The anchor of a scroll is relative to its viewport on a given axis. Don't know. Doesn't really tell me. I mean, it might tell me, but I don't understand the jargon, so it doesn't tell me. What am I supposed to do about this? Scrollable content must not fill its horizontal scrolling axis. What are we how are we supposed to interpret and react to that error? Must not fill its horizontal scrolling axis. Why not? I basically want to have it so that the form can't be resized more than a certain amount that lets you display part of the form, right? Can you specify a minimum width to shut it up? Well, there's a max width. Is there a min? Why? Why is there a max width without having a min width? Sets the maximum width of the column. Okay, so why is there no min width? Let's search for min width. Can you specify what is this? Limits on a layout. And what's this flex thing as well? Limits. There's min and max. Is there a limits method? No. What can we do with it? Why is it not giving me any suggestions? Why is my IDE now broken? What's the problem? It's because I'm missing a comma here. Dot. No. What can we do? Clip. What does clip do? Who knows what clip does? It should be clipped on overflow. But how is it overflowing if you can't specify a minimum width? On a column, right, this is what you get. You've got a column, right? It has got a bunch of methods on it. Spacing, padding, width, height, max width, but no max height, no min height, no min width. Right? That's on a column. Let's look for container, because maybe we can put the column in a container and do it there. So the container has got a max width and a max height, but I want a minimum width and a minimum height. Does the width value, is the width the minimum width? But what does, if I specify a minimum width of 100 pixels, which is an arbitrary number, and then set a maximum width, what does it do when you try and resize it? Don't know. Okay, we'll come back to this scrollable thing. Let's just go let elements is a container. Just I want to see what we can do with this. Something. And then if we go dot width 100, dot max width 200, let's just say. We don't even get anything. Oh, that's fantastic. It's just amazing. Do we need to specify a height? Should this be length fill? Hold on a second. So max height takes pixels, but height takes a length, right? It's just this is like what? I think I might have to ask in the forums or something like this, because it's, I have no idea. It doesn't, I don't even see the form now. Like, it's just, what the fuck? Let's specify 500 and 800. I just want to see the form again at this point. Let's say 200 and let's be generous. Do we think we even see it? No, we do see it. What happens when we resize this now? So we've got a max. Why isn't there a minimum? So it still resizes it less than the width that you specify. Okay, look, this is rubbish. We're just going to go. Fix me when the window is resized, the form should be scrollable to is resized such that the form elements are too small or not visible. The form should be scrollable to allow it to be used. Attempted to use a scrollable to wrap elements in a scrollable with horizontal and vertical scrolling, but that resulted in a panic. And what else did we try? Attempted to wrap elements in a container with width and max, width plus max width and height plus max height, but that still allowed the form to be made too small. Notably, there appears to be no min width or min height. So, yeah, fail. Did we actually do anything other than add that? No. So we've just got a fix me. Great. Add a fix me regarding making the window too small. Fix typo. It'd be quite funny doing a commit message with a typo in it that is about fixing typos. No. Right, well. Let's push that up. Git push Hydra tab document UI example. Yeah, you know. Why is it? I'm gonna ask in the Discord. Let's search for min height. No. How to set min width for widgets. Someone else has asked this. Is it possible to set minimum width for widgets? It doesn't look like minimum width is implemented. Let's have a look on the iced repo to see if there's a min width. Yeah. Let's search for width. It's probably going to come up with a lot. Minimum width. No, I'm going to ask. How can you specify the minimum width for a container? I'm going to put it in the questions thing. How can you specify the minimum width or height for a container? There we go. What? layout. How do I? Okay, have a container, have a form wrapped in a container, and have the form be resizable, but when the window is made too small, the form needs to be scrollable, and scroll bars need to appear only when the scroll bars need to appear when the window let me take a screenshot of where we're at. New. Okay. Snip this. Copy that. Do a new one, and then copy this. Too small. And then if we annotate this where we want the scroll bars to appear, so we basically want a scroll bar here. Right. And then we need another one of these where we make it too small in this direction. New one of those, grab that. Oh. Copy that. And then if we make it really small, we want to be able to scroll it in both directions. Like this. Copy that. Yeah, okay. Right, let's push the code up and refer to that in the question. Source. No, not source. Examples, isn't it? Examples. No, wrong branch. This one. Where is it? This one. Source. New tab. Mod. And then let's link to this fix me. Yeah. Right, I've asked the question. We'll see what people come back with. And we'll see how good the ICE community is at helping us to resolve these issues as a sort of test for the community. We'll see. Because I don't understand the panic that we were getting, and I don't understand the fact that there seems to be no min width or min height anywhere in the framework, so I don't know how I'm supposed to achieve this. I tried, I failed. Yeah, so let's add that. Let's add that into the pain points. Slash iced. Unable to specify min width. Well, minimum width or height on containers. No idea how to do it. Scrollable. Didn't work. Panic. No idea how to resolve the message. No idea how to resolve the panic. I suppose let's give this some context. When creating a form, in a window that can be resized. Yeah. Let's link to the question as well. Copy link. Asked in Discord. And there's the link to that. And if anyone's following along, there's a Discord link as well in the chat. Right. Okay, what's next? How long have we been going? 2 hours and a bit. We can do a bit more. Yeah. Let's go back to the tabs. Remember we were looking at the tabs. I mean, are we happy enough with this form? I mean, it's kind of okay, isn't it, I suppose? Yeah, it'll do. Okay, so let's fix these tabs. So we had the problem with the tabs where if you close one and then open some other file or new tab, it appears in the place where the last one was closed, which isn't how it's supposed to work. So we need to fix that. Yeah. Okay, so we've got this. Close that. Right, so it remembers the list of files. And then we go back into IDE land and close everything. Right. I suppose I could have kept one thing open. Just so that we can locate. Well, we haven't done the image. We haven't done creating image. Should we make this work? Let's make this work real quick first. Well, I guess we need to know how to create image files now. Do I want to do that? Go on, why not? It's mostly going to be all the same as this. So we're just going to copy and paste that. And we're going to create a PNG or a BMP. Let's create a PNG, why not? BMP's a bit meh. Portable network graphic or something, is that right? PNG? Who knows what PNG stands for? PNG file. Oh, portable network graphic. Look at that. Check it out. I know my TLAs. Who knows what GIF stands for? Graphic interchange format, apparently. JPEG. Oh, I've got to remember that now. Join picture something. I can't remember JPEG. No, I'm going to have to look it up now. JPEG file. What is it? What does it stand for? Whoa, joint photo. Oh, it's close. Joint Photographic Experts Group. I couldn't remember what the E stood for. Okay. Anyway, we digress. So we're not creating a text document. We're creating an image document. Right, but we've got this new thing here, and we've got a load, and yeah. So we need to make this thing behave like the other one. So the text thing has got a new, and it's got a from path. Right. So we want to do this, but we don't. Let's just go meh here for now, and we'll come back and fix it. So in the image thing, I need to rename this first to be from path, and away we go. And this is one of the reasons why I use don't use Visual Studio or other editors, because I renamed this method, and then throughout the code base, every single call that was to this has now been updated to use from path. It makes refactoring very easy. So now we go back to the other place where we were and put new here. Right. Right. But this is supposed to be an image document. And this is supposed to be one of these is supposed to be one of these. Look, there's so much wrapping going on here. It's madness. But, you know, whatever. It's supposed to be image document message here, right? And now it's worked out the type correctly, but new doesn't exist yet. So let's make it exist. So we'll keep the same method signature, and we'll go new. And now we need an implementation, and then we'll just call self from path with the path. And then in here, create the file. We need to do that. Okay, and that's all happy there. And everything's fine. And probably this can be refactored a little bit to remove some duplication, but who knows? Not yet. Social media refugee might try what? Yeah, it is painful. He says it's painful to watch you wrestle with this. Yeah. It's not fun, is it? It's hard work. It is work, though. Work is painful, usually. And along with work, you get pain. And this is the experience that you have with it, right? Rust Rover is great. Rust Rover, he says. Rust Rover is very, very good. You should definitely try it. I pay for it. It's that good. It's one of the few bits of software that I actually pay for. There are free versions of it, but I give JetBrains some money because they make pretty good products. They make pretty good products. Discord is open, yeah. Yeah, there should be an invite link on the video. There should be one somewhere. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's links on the video. Let me see if I can just do a invite link. Hold on. Let's create a link. I'll put it in the chat. There you go. That's the Discord invite link for the MakerPnP project. The other link that I posted a bit ago was for the iced Discord server. That was where the question was asked. You can find a link to that on the iced repo. Okay, so we need to create a PNG file. Don't know how you create PNG files. Probably it starts with image. I don't know. Apparently you can create a new one. Image paint? No, I don't think that's what we want. Oh dear. Don't know. There's an image repo now. Image, not repo, crate. This thing. Oh look, there's examples. We've got opening, decoding, converting. How about creating? I suppose maybe convert creates things. Image open, path new. I want to create a PNG file. Who knows how we create a PNG image output format, you know? What about creating an image? I've got image read buffer. Wait, I've done this earlier, haven't I? Hold on a second. I did this before. Did we do it in Floem? I think we did this. I don't remember. We got a new document form here, so yeah, directory press, blah blah, and we got this event which is handled somewhere. New document form. If it's a bitmap, yeah, here we go. Look, I knew I did this before. So you create an image buffer, and then you write it to a file. That's how we created one. That was a BMP file. Let's just borrow that. I can't be bothered to work out how to do it again. BMP, or whatever. We're just going to go new. We're going to paste that in here. And we're going to hope that this image buffer thing is in the same image library it is, look. I suppose, you know, PNG. Write to file. Oh, can we have a PNG? Oh, look, we can do PNGs. You know, the fact that I'm not specifying the image format on the new thing, I don't really care about that right now. This is just... Probably I should specify that it's PNG here, or this should look at the file extension and decide what format to create from the path, right? But for now, we're just going to hard code it so that it creates PNGs. So if you specify .bmp and created a PNG, it'd be wrong. So we're creating a 256 by 256 PNG. Sure, let's try it. We don't want that. Let's see. Can we create an image file? I don't know what we're actually going to see when we create one. New test 1. In there, image, okay. We've got an image. Ta-da! Okay, amazing. Yeah. Okay, let's do a commit. So we added this to create an image. Yeah, we could probably do it asynchronously and all that stuff, but not today. And then we've got this stuff there, right? Okay. Allow new document form to create new images. We didn't actually touch the form, we just touched the handling of the OK message. But, you know, that's how the user drives it. Yeah, it's probably okay. Fine. So we've done that. Right, now, back to the tabs. Finally, we can get back to these tabs. So, yeah, let's fix the tabs. So, we've got our tabs module, which currently uses a slot map, because we've got slot map here. Now apparently there is index map. We're going to try using it. I've never used it before, so we're going to see what happens. So we're going to go index map. We're going to wait for this to do its thing. And we're going to check index map. Then we're going to check to see if there's an example. No. Quick. Is it quick? Is it testing that it's supposed to be quick? Quick check. Insert. So it goes index map new, then you insert it, and you know, okay. But what about the keys? Let's see if we can find out. So we've got index, we've got fun and fix index map. Okay. Let's see if we can find the API documentation for this. So API documentation index map. So we've got key, value, and S random state. So we can specify a key and we can specify a value. And we're going to use the key macro thing from the slot map and still use keys that it generates, but use them for index map too. Why not? You know, because does it compile just by changing that? No, I don't think so. But the scope of change shouldn't be too bad. So we go, all right, okay. This gives us an option TK. So because insert might fail, but you need to specify the key. Okay. Right, but slot map generated the keys. So can we go tab key why is this painted thing coming up all the time? What is that about? I don't think we want to use default on here. New key type. Yeah. Key. So you go not really sure about this. Yeah, I'm not sure whether we should be using these keys or not. Because I don't want to manage the keys myself. I want the index map to manage the keys. I'm kind of curious as to how slot map generates the keys, but like when you call insert on the slot map, like what does it do? Because we've got this insert here. Try insert with key. And that's a little bit odd. It goes key data new. Where does it return a key? Don't know. How'd you create a new key? How do we create a new key? Yeah. Okay, let's ignore the fact that we've got those keys. Let's see if we can work out how we're supposed to do this. So it goes insert key. Is the right? So this insertion order. Where is this called? I don't understand how this is called ever. It's not very good documentation, is it? Okay, let's look for Rust index map and just, I don't know, see if we can find. I don't really want to create the key. Can the key be something stupid like just a number that's the amount of insertions that you've ever done, and if you use a U64 it'll probably be fine, just like that? But you know, I don't really like that. So we've got this tab key, right? So let's not use this. Let's go pub struct tab key, and we'll just give it a U64. Like that. Right. And we'll implement debug for it. And maybe clone as well. Can we? Do we need to clone these things? Yeah, I think we do. So we've got the tab key because everything in this needs to be clonable, so it's fine. So you can clone a key, but you know, let's do that. And instead of doing this, because we have to create the key, and if we retained a U64 here, which was like last key value, and then make it 0, and then let's go fun make next key, or next, let's call it next key, which takes a mutable self and gives us a tab key, because I didn't want to write this bit myself, but apparently I have to. So we go what? Or should we have next key value? Next key value is probably going to be better, isn't it? So we go let key is tab key self.next key value, right? And then we return a key. And if I was in C, I'd do this, but I'm not. Is there an increment? Plus equals 1. Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. So we can go self.next key, and then we get a key. Fine, right? And then we've got a something which comes back here when you do an insert. You get an option value back if an equivalent key already exists in the map, right? Well, it's not going to. Old value. And then this key. We can add copy as well to this. Yeah. Right, so that's fixed the pushing. Now what about this? So expected a reference to something? Is there a get mut on this? Hash needs to be implemented for key. Tab key. Hash. And that, you can't do hash unless you've got partial EQ and EQ, I think. Right. Now let's see what we've got here. Okay, the trace slot map. Right, this is the wrong iter now. It's not this iter, it's a different iter. It's probably the one from index map. Probably this one. He wants a range when you drain it. Range. Use range full. What? Range full. And then here we need to specify that. That's fine. Reference to the key. Probably the same here. There's no remove. Remove is deprecated. Why is it deprecated? Use swap remove or shift remove for explicit behavior. I don't know what the difference is between these. We've got swap remove. And then we've got shift remove. Right, we want shift remove. Fine. And this is supposed to be index map default, probably. How about now? Not quite. Use one of them. Label functional. Oh no. I have to come back to that one. Why does it think? Why do I have to dereference this? It must have changed somewhere on this iterator. It gives us a reference to tab keys now. Well, I think we might be getting there. Activate key. We've got a reference to one still because of the iterator. Okay. So we're using an index map now. Does it work? So, if I close text file 2 and press new, new should appear at the end here and not here. Fixed. That was good. Let's try it again. And let's try it with open. Let's go with this file. Yeah, they appear at the end now. Amazing. Close home and press it. Yes, it comes over here now. This is good. We fixed it. We fixed it. Happy days. So use index map instead of slot map for tabs to preserve tab ordering. Well, not really preserve, to I suppose to use a defined ordering for the tabs. Previously, creating a new tab would fill in empty gaps in the slot map. Yeah. What do? We added index map. We poked it around so that it uses dereferencing, and we don't have a dependency on slot map here anymore. And we use it like that. We've got next key value, and we're not going to run out for a while. Everything's fine. And we use shift remove instead of remove, so that all of the tabs move down to fill in the hole that has been removed. That's how I understand it. Fine. Everything's fine. Totes fine. Commit. And I suppose we can actually see we've got the tab keys. We've got the numbers for these now. You see, we can see the key values being used. So when it loads it up, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we close some and open some, and the number keeps increasing all the time. It's fine. Okay, sure. I think that might do for today. Let's push that up though. Let's have a look at the README to see if we can do things. New tab is shown. Yeah, we got that. Tab bar must be obvious with tab is selected. I'm not sure about that one yet. Scroll bar should be here. We don't have that yet. New tab. Form is shown with main controls. Yes, we've got that. The title of the tab is new. Multiple new tabs are allowed, each with their own state. We did that. Tab state. The form field values. Yes, they retain their state when we switch tabs. When OK is pressed, the tab name should be updated to the name of the file. That happens. The file should be created with the appropriate extension. Yeah, that happens. It should be displayed in the same tab. Yeah, because we replaced the tab. There should be no visible removal or insertion of any new tab. This is true. The tab ordering is preserved. We've got stuff done. Yeah. You know, we have actually managed to achieve a fair amount using iced thus far. Update requirements. Well, mark completed. Is it completed or fulfilled? Yeah. That's what we did, isn't it? Yeah. Let's push that up as well. Come on, speedy internet. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So we've achieved some stuff. I still want to have a look into this internationalization thing. And maybe work out how it is that we can internationalize the UI using the Fluent crate, I suppose. So I might have a go at doing that. What else? Let's run this and just check this. Must be obvious which tab is selected when there are only 2 tabs. I mean, I'm not sure whether that is true at the moment. So if we've only got 2 tabs, you see, it's a problem, isn't it? You don't really know which one's selected. And now I know it says home here in the middle, and when you click this one, you've got this. But just by looking at this, if you just focus on this bit, how do you know which one of these tabs is actually selected when there's only 2? I don't think we fulfill that yet, that requirement. I think we need to have some styling on here so that this tab button sort of bleeds into this scroll bar thing. Who knows? And then we've got problems with this scroll bar anyway because it's like grey and whatever. I don't really like this scroll bar thing here. I mean, I'm using it, but I don't really like it. So we need some way of making it so that we know which one is the selected one. But the problem is we've got this scroll bar in the way of where we would put the appropriate styling. So underneath the tabs, well, I don't know. So I'm looking at these tabs, and then I'm looking at these tabs, and this one's got like a little indicator to show you which one is active, right? On this one, we've got these colours because of the button styling. Let's have a quick look at it. Since we're poking tabs, this is what we do. We create a button. We've got a row, and it's got a text and a button. It's got spacing. It's got some alignment. How about we create a horizontal space, and can we change the background? Can we style a horizontal space? No. Do we need to put it in a container so that we can style it? Yes. And then we can do this same thing here, right? And then fix the indentation and do that. And then here we need to return a style. Who remembers how to set a background color? Background. Did we not do this already? I don't remember how to do it. I thought we did it. It was like this. So we go container background. Yeah, it's so not discoverable. And then I don't know. It'd be nice to use the same color from the theme. I don't know. I mean, how can we access things from the theme? Let's have a look at this for a moment. So this returns a style, and it gets... Oh, I see. So this thing... What? Oh, no. Wait a second. Oh, I just had that. I've lost it again. This style here... You've got that, and that's the theme, right? Yeah. So can I go theme dot palette dot... No. What can we do with the theme? Damned if I know. So these are the themes. But then what's in the theme? Palette. Oh, it gives you a palette. And then do we have... Oh, I really don't like the way that all these themes are bundled in like this. Like, why is the list of themes hard-coded? Kind of weird. So these give you palettes back. Let's have a look at the dark one. We've got a thing, right? Okay. So maybe we can do that. Theme dot palette dot. Okay, let's just go Let's have a closure here. Let palette is this. Why? Why is this a problem? Let's go primary, and I mean, is that really right? It's kind of weird. What? And then we go palette dot primary. Let's turn off the styling of the button. And make them always secondary. Hold on. Just for a moment. Why can't I access secondary on palette here now? I don't know. Background? What does this do? You've got extended palette. Is that right? I mean, what does extended palette give you? Oh gosh. It's just an extended. An extended has got and then what is this? Primary dot base. And then this horizontal space, can we put a height on it? Of say 4 pixels and run it? No. Why does it need to know this? I thought this method... why can't it work that out? It's a bit weird. Why does it need to be explicit? Sure. And then what? Trait bound is not satisfied. Why? What is this? It's a pair. Oh, I see. Dot color. How about now? How about now? What does it look like now? So I expect all the buttons to be grey and a blue box at the bottom of every one. No panic. Fail. Scrollable content must not fill its... why are we getting that now? All I've done is... What on earth? Why are we even seeing this now? Why does adding a container here break the scrollable? Scrollable content must not fit its horizontal scrolling axis. Should this be a vertical space? Maybe. I have no idea. Great. Instead of doing that, let's just put text and go whatever here and see what happens. Where is that gone? We've got a hold on. Oh, this is in the wrong place. So we want a column here which contains the row and this. Maybe. Run that. Right. Where is it? Like, where is it? I mean, let's take off the height. Is it because it's yeah? So we see the text, right? And it's coming up in the right color. Let's replace that now then with the horizontal space or vertical space and make it 4 pixels. And we're trying to set the background color of this. Oh, flipping mosquitoes. God, that one's been eating me. Bastard things. I hate mosquitoes. So that didn't work. Vertical space instead, perhaps. Is it a vertical space? Like, it just doesn't do anything. Creates a new space widget that fills the available vertical space. Creates a horizontal rule with a given height. What is this? Horizontal rule? What is a rule? I don't know. I honestly don't know what a rule looks like. I've got no clue. What does it want? It wants a height of 4. Is that what we need? I mean, what does a horizontal rule look like? It just crashes anyway. Scrollable content must not fill its horizontal scrolling axis. That means absolutely nothing to me. Scrollable content must not fill its horizontal scrolling axis. Is it a vertical rule? I mean, is then this? It's got width here now. See, no. I just want an empty space that's 4 pixels high and takes the width of the button. How the hell do you do it? I mean, you've got this space. Empty space. Space with height. Let's try. Because I thought that's what that was. Space. Let's try it. With height instead. And we still don't see anything. Let's just make it 40 just to see if it's there. It is definitely there, right? But why doesn't the color change? Container with a background. I mean, color sets text color. Why isn't this called text color if it sets the text color? It's just painful, this is. It really is painful. How do you create an empty space with a background color? Let's comment this out for the moment, this bit. We'll indent that. Fix that first, and then let's comment this out. And we're using this container background somewhere else. This, right? Let's just do this for the moment. And make it red. Right, and let's just see what happens, because maybe it's something to do with this primary and secondary color. No. What can we do here? What options have we got? We've got background. Bordered box and dark. I mean, like, why is there dark here? Like, these methods on here just seem really weirdly placed. Like, it's just arbitrary random styling methods. Oops. Like, I want to set the fill color. just beggars belief. This thing does. It really does. See here, we've got a container, and we can set the background color of it. Right. This is our status bar at the bottom. So we've got a container, and we've set the background color of it to this. So it works here, right? And if I want to, I can make my status bar red. Right? And I've got a red status bar. So we know that that works. So what's different? So we've got a container, it says text. And the container's got padding, height. Maybe it needs a width fill. Not the space. Maybe this needs a width fill. And then is this where it now starts to panic because of the scrollable thing? Yes. Let's give it 10 pixels then instead of fill. Does it still panic? No, but you get that. But I want it to fill. I want it to fill, but as soon as I do that, it panics. Should it be there? Panic. Oh, this is exasperating. This is. I just want to draw a box. I just want a filled box that's the same width as the button. We've got a column, but if I do it, it crashes. Scrollable content must not fill its horizontal scrolling axis, but it's not. The buttons is scrollable area fills the area that the scroll bar is supposed to be in. Yeah. So why does it crash? Why? Scrollable content must not fill its horizontal scrolling, but it doesn't. It's filling the button. I've got a button. With a column. How can I make this take up the same width as the row? Maybe we go I don't know, do we need to style this? Panic. Let's just put 100 here just to see what happens. Nothing really. Now we've got this, right? But I've got a fixed width for each of the tabs, which is not what I want. Right, I've got a fixed width for this tab, which is not what I want. Right, but if I don't do this, you get a panic. Why? Let's put max width of 150 on there. I don't know, maybe 200. And let's see what happens there. And our survey says panic. What happens if you specify a width of 100 and a max width of 200? No panic, but it doesn't respect the width or the max width anymore. Right. Where's this panic coming from? Let's just turn this off and see what happens. Pretty random. So they all sort of disappear and go on the left. Content as widget. So if any one of the things inside it has got fill, you get that error. What on earth are you supposed to do? It's just stupid. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. Do I have to create my own widget and then like do a draw on draw thing and then get the viewport and then fill it myself? Why can't I create a container with a height of 4 that's the same width as the button into which I'm placing the other elements? I've got a column with a row, and the row contains text and the button. Then underneath that row, I want a container which fills the rest of the space of the column, but you can't do it. You're not allowed. None of these things can be filled. But I want it to. I don't understand how I'm supposed to create a box and give it a background colour. It's stupid. A column here. You can't style the column, you have to put it in a container. It's just stupid. It's stupid. Just stupid. Fix me. This doesn't get displayed. If you add a width, length, fill, it panics. Let's keep this bit and go button secondary. Fix me when the above is fixed. Always use secondary styling and use box to indicate active tab. So that's a fail. Why? Let me just open up the other documents. So we're trying to fix which tab is active by drawing a line underneath it, in the same way that we have a line underneath the active tab in this IDE, right? That's all we want. We just want to draw a little box like this inside the tab, but we can't unless we set fixed widths on the buttons, which we don't want to do. So yeah, that's a fail. Just open up these again. As I noted something weird a minute ago. So this one is active here, but let me just close these for a second and reopen it with just that one. So we add the home tab. We're not activating the home tab, I don't think. I need to fix that. Okay. I'm going to leave in these import changes, even though it causes warnings. Yeah, fail to create tab indicate active tab indicator box. Fine. So yeah, more failure. Let's quickly look at where we've got the add show home. I think we've got to push it and we need to activate it. Self.tabs.activate key. I think we're missing this. Because it used to activate it, but now it doesn't. You have to do it yourself. There we go, now it's active. That's better. Okay. Ensure home tab is activated when it's created. Okay, all right, that's gonna do for today. I've had enough of the failure of the styling, and no, I've had enough of that. I've had enough. You guys probably have as well if you're following along. But it's so painful. I just want a box in a button where you've got a group of buttons that you can scroll left and right. But no. No, apparently not. That's too much to ask. Alright, let's push these changes up. There we go. I'm really not enjoying Iced. I'm really not. It's mostly letting me do, you know, things to make a usable application, but damn, it's painful. It's really, really painful. I can't recommend it. Definitely can't recommend it. No. No. I mean, let's have a quick look at, you know, what we got with the Floem one. I'm just trying to, you know, because I've been doing Iced for a little bit. And we tried some other stuff, and I forget where we got to with other ones. We had got this weird rendering issues. When you hover over things change size. Top left justified image. Yeah, easy. You can't. The image isn't top left justified in iced. Why? But we've got this. We've got state the selection is maintained when you switch tabs, which doesn't work in iced. Let's bring up the iced one. Let's bring up the iced one. Put them side by side. Right. This is the phloem one. This is the iced one. Now we didn't progress the phloem one as far. We ran into some issues. But I'm trying to create this little thing so you know that the tab bar is active. This little square box. That's what I want here. And where we've got an image, this isn't maintaining the aspect ratio, which is, oh, hold on, I'm on the wrong thing. There we go, sorry about that. I'm on the wrong camera. So this is the phloem one on the left hand side, and we've got the underscore, the underline bit here, and this is what we're trying to create over here. Right, and we've got the home tab, we've got the new tab. I never got around to styling this. I gave up when I started getting weird rendering issues in phloem. I wasn't really enjoying it. We've got images, we can display images, but with this one it's not top left justified. It's supposed to be top left justified, but it's not. With phloem we didn't add the status bar. We did manage to add a little divider thing like this, which we haven't done yet in this one. I think we might need to use this pane grid thing to do that. Might have a look at doing that at some point. The text state in iced doesn't work. So what do I mean by that? I've got a file and I select some text, and I go to another tab and I select some text. So when I go back to this, I expect that text to be selected still. No, fail. Selected text, go to another tab, select text, go back to the tab, still selected. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Close all, close all. Let's have a look at the code for the phloem one. Just to remind ourselves of what it was like. Image document. So we create a view. And we've got an info panel, we've got content, where we create an image, and when we style it. And unlike iced, you've got a thing that you can call methods on, so you can discover exactly what you can do. You don't get that with iced. So where you try and style stuff in iced, you've got, let's go to the same thing, document image, and you want to try and style something. You've got to find a view method, this one, and you want to try and style something, anything. I know this one's got a style method on it, so we'll go style, but you get something, and then you're like, well, this is a theme. I can use the theme, great, but what am I supposed to do here? You're like, I don't know. It's not very discoverable. Don't like it. Flown was much nicer in that regard. You know, you've got a thing, you call style on it, and then you get a style instance onto which you can call methods to make it do stuff. Oh look, min height and min width. Shock horror. You know, Floem. There was pain points with Floem as well, though. You know, let's not forget. What did we say about Floem in the end? Severe lack of documentation. Well, that's a common aspect with most of these GUI frameworks. No getting started guide or book. Well, that's very similar to ICE, isn't it? No documentation for signals or effects. Well, that's a bit like the no documentation for widgets, events, and all the rest of it in ICE. No documentation for layout, sizing, styling. Well, that's a bit like the situation in ICE as well. Rendering issues. I haven't seen any rendering issues in ICE yet, but there were some rendering issues. Some weird issues with events, where you click on something and then something underneath it also receives that event. Problems with that. That was a problem. Yeah. Various elements don't behave as expected. Well, that's pretty much the same in ICE. Help for developers. Yeah, help for community in ICE as well, you know. Passable unless you need I18N. Is what we said. But, you know, there were issues with it. I don't know. I mean, it's passable. Yeah, this is just, yeah, I can remove that now. Not enjoyable. Frustrating experience. Let's say frustrating experience. Yeah. Iced. I don't know. I don't like any of them. That's the bottom line. I don't like any of these. They're horrible. They're all horrible. For different reasons. It's just a mess. It's a mess. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to do at this point. I don't really want to spend my life using Iced in the production app that I want to create after this experience with this creating this tab document thing. I really don't want to use Iced. Need to make some decisions as to what to do next. None of the alternatives are good. I don't know, maybe I should just create the GUI in Java and then have it hook into a Rust backend. and use JavaFX. At least then I've got like a reusable component, widget libraries and everything else that's good, tried and tested for many years. But I don't want to be writing Java. That ain't nice either. But if I don't have to write much Java, maybe it's not terrible. I don't want to do it though. I'm supposed to be creating this in Rust. I mean, that's one of the whole points. I think we might have to have a look at this next. Windows native GUI, and just create native GUI and see how that pans out. I'm tired of doing Rust, iced stuff now. It's doing my head in. It's doing my head in. I'm going to look at this next. There, I've decided. Right, that's it for today, folks. So just remember, it's only software. How hard can it be? We'll find out on the next one. See ya.